Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining today. Do appreciate it. Today, we just want to walk through a few things about when you're scaling a franchise, some of the challenges that marketing teams face, and how we can address them. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in, and I'll address them at the end. So as a franchise grows, the marketing team starts to face a bottleneck. The central team starts getting drowned in requests, tactical changes, and they start chasing brand violations across the network. This is really what I call centralized versus decentralized tug of war. You really are sort of faced with a couple of choices. The first choice is, do we hire more designers at the central team and more people at the central team to really manage all of those issues? Or do we decentralize? Do we send our PDF brand guidelines out to the franchise partners and let them really customize and localize marketing materials? And neither solution is a very good one because you can't really afford to hire unlimited designers on the design team. And the franchise partners are not really professional marketers. So first of all, you don't want them spending a lot of time modifying marketing materials. And you also really start to see a brand degradation as they start to get creative with the marketing materials that they're developing. So what we have developed is a marketing platform that really gives you the central control over brand standards and allows you to execute strategy across the network, but you're still empowering franchisees to create local materials and execute their own in-market marketing. And really what we see is when you enable this, you increase individual sales, you increase per unit sales, and and you do an overall more marketing. So what do we actually help you do? We enable franchisees to create on-brand content independently. We maintain full brand consistency and compliance across the whole organization. We free up your central team to focus on strategic initiatives. So you can put more resources instead of handling all of the tactical changes. You can really plan more strategic campaigns and more initiatives. We reduce production costs and reallocate budget strategically. So all of that time and effort that you take for handling those tactical changes, once you remove that from your plate, you're able to refocus on really the strategic aspects of the marketing team. We also give you complete visibility and audit trails across the entire network so that you can really see what the organization is doing as a whole. So you can track individual franchisees, what marketing materials they're using, what's being used, how it's being used, etc. So having said that, I'm going to go ahead and jump into live demonstration. The first thing to note about us is we are a white label solution. These are a couple of our live portals currently. And when I say we're a white label solution, it's not just sticking your logo on our framework and our portal. It's really about customizing all aspects of how you communicate with your franchise partners. This is just a demonstration portal that I'm going to use to show you the different modules and different capabilities that we do have. And we do have an open API, so we typically integrate with other marketing systems, other marketing platforms within your whole marketing stack. So, for example, if you have a single sign-on, we can integrate directly with that. And that can, for example, if someone leaves the system, it will automatically deprecate from our system. Or if you're adding new users into the platform, that will automatically allow them access into our platform. We have a number of modules, and one of the things that we can do, you don't have to be on the platform and able to upload content. So for example, if one of your franchise partners has an event and they have a photographer that's taking great pictures, you might want to use those pictures for marketing purposes. The photographer can go ahead and upload those pictures without even being on the marketing platform. Then you'll have access to them. They'll go into a holding folder, and then you'll have access to them and determine if you want to use them and how you want to use them. So logging into the platform, again, the look, the feel, the design, every franchise is different. How you talk to your franchise partners is different, and how you want to access information. It's really customizable so that you can set it up according to your business. We form our platform to your business. We don't make your business form to our platform. When I log into the platform knows who I am and has a certain metadata associated with me. What locations am I part of? This can dictate what I see in the platform, what I have access to in the platform. It can also dictate automation. Automation is one of the biggest trends we're seeing in franchise marketing. It's really about automating content for the local user without them having to customize it themselves. We do have messaging. So for example, if you want to send message to the whole system, you can send it out. If you want to segment it to certain users or certain groups or certain regions, you can message directly within the platform itself. We have a number of modules that are helpful. We are a modular solution, so it depends on the setup that you want. First one I'll jump into is templates. This is the most commonly used module that we see with franchise partners. Anything can be templated, digital, print. All of these things can be set up according to how you want to group and categorize by campaign, by type. It also, you don't have to have everything be a template. Some things are static. You can mix and match. If you have a campaign and some content is static, some content is customizable, you can mix and match that campaign all in one location. You see the pricing here. It doesn't have to be here. We do have some franchises that have different business arrangements regarding how that material is being purchased. There could be some co-op dollars associated with that. Again, customizable to your business. I'm just going to go ahead and jump into a template. In this particular example, I am a multi-location partner. So which location am I customizing for now is the Portland location. So as I jump into the template, you'll notice that a few things are automatically being applied. So local address, local contact information, could be local social channels. It's automatically applying an image based on who I am and that metadata associated with me. You can also have it be optional. So if you want to say, well, for this template, we have a few different choices, you can make that optional and select those. You can have a little bit of basic format within the format if you want them to have some ability to customize. Optionality is a big part of our templating. So for example, if you want to choose one of 5 design elements, one of 3 headlines, you can set it up ahead of time. Again, this is giving them some creative freedom. Really the purpose here is we don't want your franchise partners to spend a lot of time in the platform. That might sound counterintuitive, but we really want them to get in, execute the marketing, and then get out as quickly as possible. They're very busy. They're running businesses. We want them to continue on that and not really spend a lot of time being amateur designers. If you have open text, you can set up various parameters around it. So for example, you see this, the font scales down. You can set it to, for example, going to no less than 10 points. You could also set it up so that if you only want one line, sorry, this is just one line. If you want it to go to 2 lines, you can set it up for that. This address information is being pulled in through what we call DNA. That's the metadata. We also have things like pattern recognition. So if you have an open text for a phone number and they put in a phone number, it can only be in the format that you require. We also have things like QR code. So if a dynamic QR code and they have a landing page and they want to apply that to the asset, the QR code will adjust accordingly. Now, Depending on what type of content this is, and this particular is a print piece, we are agnostic to suppliers. So if you have a print supplier that you're working with, we can tie in at the back end to that print supplier so that this order will go directly from the platform directly to that supplier. If it's a social post, for example, for Facebook, the franchisee can organically post it. They can schedule it for post. We also have a higher level where the central team can actually post for all of their franchises. So, for example, if you have 150 local franchise pages or local franchise Facebook pages, the central team can set up one template where they post it to all 150 Facebook pages, and that template can dynamically change based on the user's Facebook page it's posting. For example, you might have welcome to New York, welcome to Portland. All that can change according to who it's posting to. You might have different specials, different special limited time offers in the East Coast versus the West Coast. All of that can be dynamic. The advantage to this is if the central team is posting to all of the Facebook pages, then they only post once and then the template does the work. You don't have to customize 150 pieces of creative in order to post a localized content to every Facebook page. We're seeing this being used more and more. It's a really efficient way to be able to take advantage of the localized content, but not have to do all of the technical work or all of the tactical work making changes on every piece of content. So we do offer a number of modules. The templates, we have a digital asset management that is available to you. It can be in step-throughs. We can have videos. We can have any kind of other, we see this being used for business documents sometimes, PDFs, Word documents. It can be organized and arranged in any way that you see fit. We do have a variety of tagging, AI tagging. We're seeing a lot of use of metadata. So for example, what campaign is these content associated? What's the target audience? There's a number of ways that you can sort and edit, make it really easy for you to manage the content and make it super easy for franchise partners to find content very quickly and efficiently without having to spend a lot of time. We have some things like basic crop and resize. We have the ability to, this particular one doesn't, but if you have like photos, so for example, if you like this image, there's other image. And it's important to note that what we do things a little different in that you might have 5 different versions of this image, but we only have one imprint in the DAM, and then you can select which one you want. This is really easy because sometimes franchise partners will go in, they'll say, wow, there's 5 different versions of this image. Which one do I need to put on my website, or which one am I looking for print? They can find the image and then select the one that works best for them. We have an interactive brand guidelines module. This is basically a digital version of your brand guidelines. You're able to add video, you're able to add movies, you're able to add requirements. The nice thing about the interplay between the brand guidelines and the DAM is that you now have the ability to access all of the current logos, for example. And this is really just an easy way to avoid people pulling an old logo off their desktop and using it in marketing materials. It's keeping everybody current and on the same page. One of the things that we see being used more and more is our calendar functionality. This is a way to keep everybody clear on what's happening, what campaigns are going on. You can give a brief description and then link directly to the asset or kit of assets that are affiliated for launching that campaign, that initiative, etc. Not everything is a piece of print or digital marketing materials. We also have a web shop. So we see this used a lot for swag, for in-store materials. Um, if you want to have pens, squeezy balls, if you're doing an event and you need to get some T-shirts, all this can be placed in a very easy store format. Again, we can tie into whatever supplier. We're not limiting you to a specific supplier. We can tie, if you have a supplier you like, we're happy to tie into that supplier so these orders can be sent through. And then and as far as how the pricing and all of that, it really depends on your business, who's paying and how they're paying. I mentioned asset or kit of assets, and there's a few different ways you can set this up. So for example, we see a lot of in new store opening kits, we see a lot of event kits, and it's really a place for you just to be able to put everything you need to achieve a business objective in one simple, straightforward place. So they can come in, they can order everything that they need in one place. They can order it. It can go out to the various suppliers for fulfillment and be executed very quickly and efficiently. Another campaign module that we do have is the ability to set up multi-channel deployment. So if you have a campaign and you want to do national to local customization of that campaign, you can set up a simple step-by-step process where they're able to execute that campaign very quickly and efficiently. So whatever your channels are, in this instance, we're going for a specific campaign. You can set dates. You can have all of the assets, whether they're print assets, whether they're digital assets, whether they're, in some cases, we have out-of-home signage, we have Facebook or social advertising. Again, I'm a multi-location owner, so who am I participating? You can have preset daily budgets for your social campaign. And then depending on how you're setting up, again, you can have templates in here as well that can be customized for localization as well, and you can set up the automation for that. And then depending on how you're managing costs, whether it's a co-op funds, you may offer a certain amount of funds available monthly, and then anything above would be your franchise partner. Whatever setup you have, we can be quite flexible with how we arrange that. We are seeing more and more use of our news module. This is a very straightforward blog, and it's really a place for you to be able to communicate across your system-wide that new campaigns, new industry information. It just gives you a very straightforward way to keep everybody informed, up to date on important items within your organization and your market. We have an academy or a playbook module. So for example, you might have a number of playbooks you can just digitize in the platform itself. Often we'll see things like how do you use this platform set up as a playbook, but any other straightforward training that you might want to provide, you can provide it here. You can add video, you can add any kind of information. It's a very flexible way for you to communicate training for new partners, etc. We also have a creative requests module or a suggestion module. So for example, really develop this so that we can get away from the email back and forth, hey, I need a new piece of material. If you select it, they can put the information that they need. They can have, what location they're part of, or that can automatically be applied to. Is there a deadline? And then in the back end, which I'll show you, there's a very easy messaging methodology for you to be able to manage those requests, manage those suggestions, etc. Now, the franchise partner also has the ability to control a lot of the aspects of what they see. So, for example, if I go into, I can see my order history, things that I've ordered. I can adjust my DNA, my contact information, my social channels, for example. These are things that are associated with me as a user. So if I open up a template with that DNA field, it will automatically be applying this. You see distribution zip codes here for direct mail. So for example, in some cases we have campaigns with a direct mail component, and you're automatically applying where that direct mail those zip codes that it goes to, and those campaigns are already pre-allocated with target audience, things like that, demographic. I have the ability to track my drafts and my documents. So I can go in, I can see everything I've done in the portal, everything I've done in the platform. You can set this up to show only my documents. An admin can see everybody's documents, or you can even do a location. So if you want to see everything that an individual location has done, you can set that up as well. You can then recycle. So for example, if you have an asset that has been used, and you just want to make a couple of changes, change the image out, you can go ahead and recycle that and then re-up it, make the changes, put it back into a template, make the changes, and deploy it accordingly. You see here the social connections. We are able to post directly to social channels from the platform, so that you can set up those channels for local Facebook, local Meta, local LinkedIn deployment. And we are seeing much more use of the social channels for these kind of deployments, as well as marketing budget. As I said, you might have certain campaigns that you're setting up for deployment, and you can allocate different marketing budgets for those individual campaigns. So everything I'm showing you now is sort of the front end of the platform. It is the things that you can again adjust accordingly. You can set them up so that you're how you want to access information, how you want that information to be deployed, how you want that information to be set up. You can put that in different modules, in different layouts, different schemes. We have highlight. So if you have a new campaign on the slider, you can go ahead and post that there. And then again, as the messaging, you can set up the messaging in order to achieve business objectives. So if you have to set up for a franchise event and you need registration, you can put that there. If you have jump into a new campaign, you can put that message, and that again can be set up for either individual locations, regional locations, or multiple across the system-wide as a whole. So everything I've sort of shown you so far is, again, front end. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the administrative side. So this is where your marketing teams are able to manage the portal, set up the portal, as well as track usage. So the advantage here is having all this in one portal. This gives you the ability to track marketing materials across your whole organization. This is super helpful because then you can now see what materials are being used, what materials are not being used. You can plan accordingly. So if you have assets that you want to create more of, because they're very popular. This gives you some strategic direction. If you see assets that people are not utilizing, maybe you want to deprecate those from your system. It also gives you the ability to track individual users and locations. Are they not using the marketing materials? Are they using the marketing materials? And then with that, you can then maybe reach out if you see that that a location is not utilizing the marketing materials and their sales numbers are reflecting that. Maybe you want to reach out and ask them, do you need more help? Is there something that we can do to assist you? It really gives you a deep marketing asset intelligence to be able to track efficiently. It also gives you the ability to set some KPIs, and it also gives you the ability for reporting to senior management. So now you have the ability to have specific data that you can utilize. It has the ability to, for you to be able to set some targets throughout time, and then you can report to senior management what the results of those targets are. I talked about the requests. We do have an approval workflow. So for example, if you want to have a last check on a piece of marketing material before it gets removed from the system or published, you might want to have an approval workflow where that just gets a last check. We also have a front-end approval workflow. So if somebody wants to run a campaign and you want them to be able to opt in, you might have an approval at the front end as well. The creative request workflow is another very simple and easy way for you to be able to manage those requests. And what we see is if you are getting a number of requests for a specific kind of content, for example, if you are if your franchisees are doing co-branded events, if they're doing a street fair and they're doing it with a local bank, you might want to create a template for those assets and then make it available for everybody to be able to customize and use. So you start to see patterns evolving in the marketing content you need to create. And then we just have the ability for a general chat. This is a chat with the requester to be able to ask any detailed questions. And then an internal chat. This is an internal chat that you might be with your designer saying, Phil, can you pick this up and get this? There's a deadline of this date. And it's a very clean, efficient way for you to be able to manage that. And then when the asset is done, you can drag and drop the file here and make it available for use for the requester. I do want to talk a little bit about the ability for you to change the portal. For example, we're always here from a customer success standpoint, but you may want to have a new campaign and put an icon or a module at on the front page linking to your new limited time offers campaign. You can do that all yourself. We made it just like we made the front end of the portal super easy for franchise partners to use. We also made it super easy for the marketing team to be able to customize and deploy content within the portal however you want to change it and manage it. So for example, we have drag and drop modules if you want to change the look and feel. Any of the module locations, you can make that customized as you go forward. And as we do the onboarding process, all of this will be built out initially, but ongoing for time, we find that most of our franchise marketing teams really like the ability to jump into the portal, make the changes they need, get out of the portal. They don't want to necessarily have to reach out for every little thing to us. And we feel that just giving them the ability to make those changes and customizations is super helpful for them to be able to manage their business and their marketing as they see fit. And as you see here, I'm not going to jump into everything at this point in time, but there's a lot of ways that you can completely customize and manage different workflows, different campaigns. If I jump into the platform itself, this is again showing you where I can actually change, manage the layout, handle my integrations with single sign-on. And this is also where your brand kit, so the portal is completely on brand for you. And that's especially important because one of the things that we do see is that the portal becomes a marketing tool for our franchise customers. So when you're selling new franchise locations and you're talking to potential franchisee partners, you're able to, when you're asked, how are you going to support my business? You're able to jump into the portal, show them all of the assets, all of the capabilities, and all of the strategic assistance that is available to them. And so it's very important that the portal reflects your brand, reflects your identity, and reflects how you communicate with your franchisees. So going back to the front end of the portal, again, the look and feel, all of that can be customized and changed according to your needs. And it also can be set up in a variety of different ways. So this layout is one of the most common layouts that we do see. But for example, if you want to have different bars or different ways to set up the different modules or even your campaigns. We see a lot of times people will have a limited time offers, a link directly to the calendar, a link directly to the assets, different sets of assets that they want to highlight. All of those things can be organized however you want. Again, couple of things that are key for us are we want your franchisees to get in and out of the portal, execute any of the campaign elements or any of the marketing as quickly and as efficiently as possible. And we also want your ability to manage the portal to be as quick and efficient as possible. We do see that once you use this, that not only the amount of content overall goes up about 67% that is deployed and localized, but we also see that the amount of time and effort that it takes the central team to be able to manage that is reduced significantly, in some cases as much as 80% of the time to manage that localization. I'm obviously happy if anyone wants to go into a more deep dive or more detailed look at the modules and the portal. I'm obviously happy to set that up. And with that, I will turn it over to see if there are any questions. I do see a question regarding whether there's access to a demo site. I'm happy to set up an individual demonstration call and we can go through it again, and then I will be able to give you access to a demonstration site, yes. I also have a question of social posts. How can social posts be managed? So there's a couple of different ways that social posts can be managed. Those are either the franchisee can post directly to their local Facebook page, or Instagram or LinkedIn. So if you have a piece of content, you can automate that piece of content so that it customizes for them, or you can just have a static piece of content or a template that they can customize themselves, and then they can post that directly or schedule it for post to their local social channel. And again, I mentioned that we do have a higher level where the central team can manage those posts as well, system wide, or a select group of that system where they can post customized pieces of content as well. Let's see. What happens if you go international and need different languages? Absolutely. So, as I mentioned, based on the DNA of who I am as a user, if I am an international user, I can be grouped in with that group. We see this a lot in Canada, for example, or a franchise that's global. And when I log into the platform, I will be seeing a portal perhaps in my language. The content that I have available is only the regional content that's available to me in that location, and whether it be language difference, etc. So my user experience, if I am in Europe, might be a very different user experience that someone in the United States might have, just depending on those segmentations. Any other questions for him? Well, I want to thank you very much for your time. I do appreciate you taking the time to go through this. Again, happy to answer any detailed questions if you want to reach out or set up a time to talk in person. But again, thank you very much for your time. Do appreciate it. Have a great day.